My wife, Emily, said, "I need to find out if being bigger really matters. You won't ever know. Don't stress about it." I just answered, "Okay." The next week, when she returned from a night out with friends, her face froze in surprise when she saw who opened the front door. I didn't move when she repeated the line. Her mouth curved into that proud, small smile, her eyes testing me like a child holding a match over petrol. "I need to find out if being bigger really matters. You won't ever know. Don't stress about it." I looked at her. No anger, no crying, just quiet. And one word that finished everything. Okay. We had been together for 7 years. I loved her with a kind of loyalty that changes a man and rearranges his world. I gave her faithfulness, stability, a house she never had to worry about. She gave me laughter, warmth, the idea of safety, or maybe that's what I told myself as I watched her laugh with her friends, as I trusted her nights out without asking questions. But the truth is, what she said that night wasn't an accident. It was a confession, a challenge, a knife sharpened right in front of me. At first, the pain was burning hot, like a metal brand on my chest. Then it cooled down and became hard. The pain turned into something clearer, understanding. Her words weren't carelessly said. She wanted me to know she was cheating. She wanted me to feel helpless, unimportant. But I am not unimportant, and I do not break. It didn't take long. Her phone was left unlocked one night on the kitchen counter. Her messages glowed like a bright sign. "I can't wait for tonight. John will never find out. Lowell, being bigger is always better." Every sentence stung, but I kept reading. I took a picture of the screen, saved it, sent it to my private email. I wasn't looking for proof anymore. I was collecting weapons. Her so-called nights out weren't just drinks and gossip. They were motel rooms and strangers. And every secret she thought she kept hidden, I quietly wrote down. Anger shouts. Revenge whispers. I chose whispers. First step. Secure the money. Joint bank accounts were quietly moved. Passwords were changed. My paycheck was sent to a separate account she knew nothing about. Second step. Get proof. Screen pictures. Hotel bills. Phone call records enough to crush her in any court case, enough to make sure she would leave with only regret. Third step, wait for the right time. I didn't want a bomb. Bombs end fast. I wanted a slow fall, a situation so perfectly set up that when the end came, she wouldn't just lose me, she'd lose the image of herself she held onto so tightly. The next week, she walked out proudly for her night out in her tight black dress, her shoes clicking like a timer. I waited, calm, patient. My plan was already working. By the time she came back, the locks were changed. The door she thought would open to a safe little house was no longer hers. But I wasn't gone. I was waiting. When she knocked, I opened it, and next to me stood her secret man. Only it wasn't the one she expected. It was her father, the man she loved, respected, and was most afraid of disappointing. I had called him earlier that evening and sent him everything: screen pictures, proof. The truth, she thought, was buried under perfume and lies. The total surprise on her face when she saw him standing in my living room, his eyes full of rage, shame, disappointment, was the masterpiece I had created step by step. "Would you like to explain this?" he asked her, his voice low and deadly calm. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out, just a choked noise, her eye makeup already smearing as the truth hit her. She turned toward me, desperate. I simply looked her in the eye, steady, unmoving, no shouting, no begging, just a quiet that screamed louder than any words. Her father dropped the folder of printed pictures onto the table. The sound echoed like a gunshot. Her world ended right there in the doorway of the house she no longer had a key to. The next few days moved quickly. Divorce papers were filed, evidence attached. Friends who once admired her perfect marriage suddenly saw the problems, the decay under her glamour. Her father cut her off from money. Disgusted, her friends moved away. Rumors of her betrayal spreading faster than she could stop. The man she cheated with had already gone. He was never hers. Just a short moment of excitement. And I walked away clean. My money safe, my reputation undamaged. A future without toxic people. She wanted to know if size mattered. It did. Not the size she meant, not physical, not sexual, but the size of patience, the size of silence, the size of a man's determination when pushed too far. She mistook my calm for weakness. She mistook my quiet for being unimportant. And now, as she stands alone, stripped of respect, safety, and the mask she wore so proudly, she finally understands. I was never small. I was always too much for her to handle. And when I closed the door that night, with her shocked face burned into my memory, I realized something. Revenge is not about anger. It's about control. And I never lost mine.